Barry Gibb, born Barry Allen Crompton. Gibb, on September 1st, 1946, in Douglas, Isle of Man, grew up in a musically rich environment. He was the second of 5 children in the Gibb family, whose members were all deeply connected to music. Barry's parents, Hugh and Barbara, encouraged creativity and artistic expression from an early age. This nurturing atmosphere allowed Barry to discover his love for music early, and he developed a unique ability to blend raw emotion with intricate melodies. As the family moved from Manchester, England to Redcliffe, Queensland, Australia, Barry's ambition grew. Along with his younger brothers, Maurice and Robin, he began performing together, eventually forming the Bee Gees. Their harmonies and vocal blend would soon captivate the world, marking the start of Barry's long and successful career. Formation of the Bee Gees. In the late 1950s, the Gibb brothers, Barry, Maurice, and Robin, began performing together, and their sound evolved into something special. The trio's harmonious blend of voices became their signature, setting them apart from other bands. Initially performing in small venues across Australia, the Bee Gees eventually caught the attention of DJ Bill Gates and producer Robert Stigwood. These influential figures helped guide the group to England, where they achieved international fame. By the mid-1960s, the Bee Gees' rise to stardom was unstoppable, and they became synonymous with timeless hits. From the soulful ballads like To Love Somebody and Massachusetts, to the vibrant disco anthems of the 1970s like Staying Alive and Night Fever, Barry's leadership and falsetto played a pivotal role in defining the group's sound. The disco era and the Bee Gees' impact. The 1970s proved to be a golden era for Barry Gibb and the Bee Gees. Barry's role as the eldest brother and the creative force behind the band's iconic sound cemented their place in music history. The Bee Gees' contribution to the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack became one of the best-selling albums of all time, with hits that defined the disco era. Tracks like Staying Alive and How Deep Is Your Love not only topped charts, but also became anthems of a generation. Barry's innovative production techniques and ability to adapt to the changing musical landscape made him one of the most influential figures in music. His voice, especially his falsetto, became instantly recognizable, and the Bee Gees were firmly entrenched as pop culture icons. Beyond the Bee Gees, Barry's solo success. While the Bee Gees were his primary focus, Barry Gibb's talents extended far beyond the trio. He became a sought-after songwriter and producer, contributing to numerous hits for other artists. Notably, Barry wrote and produced Guilty for Barbra Streisand, which became a major success. He also worked with Diana Ross on Chain Reaction and collaborated with Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton on the iconic Islands in the Stream. Barry's ability to adapt to musical trends while maintaining the emotional core of his songwriting made him one of the most versatile figures in the music industry. His work with other artists further solidified his reputation as an exceptional talent and a driving force behind some of the most memorable songs of the 70s and 80s. The personal losses Barry endured. Despite the fame and success, Barry Gibb's life was not without its share of personal tragedy. The deaths of his brothers, Andy in 1988, Maurice in 2003, and Robin in 2012, left deep emotional scars. For Barry, these losses were not just the passing of family members, but also the dissolution of the creative bond that had defined his career. His brothers had been his closest collaborators, and their deaths forced Barry to navigate the music industry and life itself without them by his side. These tragedies profoundly impacted Barry, and they are reflected in his later solo work, such as In the Now, 2016. The album reveals a more introspective side of Barry's artistry, capturing the depth of his emotions and the wisdom he gained from living through both unimaginable success and profound loss. Barry and Linda, a lifelong partnership. Barry Gibb's relationship with Linda Gray has been one of the most enduring and admired marriages in the world of show business. Linda's quiet strength and unwavering support helped Barry navigate the challenges of fame and loss. She stood by him during the Bee Gees' rise to superstardom in the 1970s and remained by his side through the heartbreaking loss of his brothers. Over the years, Barry has often credited Linda with saving him emotionally, especially during times when fame and personal grief threatened to consume him. Their marriage has been a model of loyalty and respect, and their bond remains as strong as ever. In interviews, Barry has referred to Linda as his rock, emphasizing that her love and support kept him grounded in an industry notorious for fleeting relationships. Together, they enjoy a peaceful life, often retreating to their home in Miami, surrounded by family. A reflection on Cliff Richard. After decades of friendship and occasional distance, Barry Gibb has finally opened up about his mush relationship with British pop legend Cliff Richard. Now 79, Barry reflects with deep respect and affection on the man who has been a significant part of his life and career. For Barry, Cliff was one of the first artists who showed him that fame and decency could coexist. In an industry often marked by excess and scandal, Cliff's poise and unwavering moral compass stood out. Barry admired Cliff's ability to maintain his integrity in the face of fame's temptations. He recalled how Cliff's success in the early 1960s paved the way for other British artists, like the Bee Gees, to dream bigger. Barry acknowledges that Cliff helped break down barriers for British musicians on the international stage, showing that success wasn't limited to American artists. The distance between Barry and Cliff. Although their careers often intersected, Barry and Cliff's relationship was not always one of constant closeness. The demands of fame and the pressures of their respective careers meant that they didn't maintain regular contact. Barry explained that, while they were not the type of friends to call each other every day, there was always mutual respect when they did meet. The busy schedules of both artists, particularly Barry's rise to fame with the Bee Gees in the 1970s, meant that personal relationships were often sidelined. Despite this, Barry emphasized that his admiration for Cliff never waned. He spoke about how, despite the challenges of fame, Cliff had remained true to himself, avoiding trends and staying grounded in his values. Barry admired Cliff's resilience and his ability to remain authentic in a world that often demanded reinvention. Cliff Richard, a source of inspiration. Barry's reflections on Cliff Richard also revealed a deeper sense of kinship between the two artists, rooted in their shared experiences of fame and the music industry. Both men had seen friends and family members pass away too soon, and both had weathered the storms of public scrutiny. Barry spoke about the strength that Cliff demonstrated by continuing to perform and smile, even as he faced personal loss. For Barry, Cliff represented a kind of strength that transcended fame, an enduring spirit that continued to inspire. Barry also admired Cliff's commitment to melody and lyrics that had meaning, something that Barry feels is increasingly rare in today's music scene. In many ways, Cliff's authenticity and ability to stay true to his craft served as a reminder to Barry of what music should be about: heart, soul, and a connection to something deeper than fame. Barry's final words on Cliff Richard. Barry Gibb's tribute to Cliff Richard is one of admiration, respect, and deep gratitude. After decades of friendship, both men have endured their share of personal challenges, but their connection has remained strong. Barry's words are a simple acknowledgement of Cliff's enduring legacy and the impact he has had on both music and the lives of those who admire him. Cliff's a good man, one of the best, Barry said, emphasizing that what he most admired about Cliff was his ability to stay true to himself despite the pressures of fame. For Barry, Cliff represents the best of what the music industry has to offer, a man who never gave up, never gave in, and always believed in the power of music.